Shalom. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakadash, and double honors to our elders and apostles at Great Millstone for bringing out this truth. So this video is in response to a question on TikTok, and I wanted to respond properly with precepts. So the question was, why did Eve have to wait until Adam ate before her eyes opened? And also, if Adam did not eat, then what would happen? So start off with Genesis, the 3rd chapter, and verse 1. It says, Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yahweh power hath made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath Yahweh said, Ye shall not eat of the tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Yahweh had said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. So let's look into this word serpent, just so we have an understanding of what that means. So nahas, and if we look at the root word etymology, we click on that for serpent, nakash, okay, and it goes into to practice divination, okay, observing signs, okay, omens. So this is talking about another nation who basically practice all of this like witchcrafty type stuff. It's not actually talking about a snake that was talking to the woman. The serpent is just like a metaphor for this evil nation that was in the garden, okay? And beasts of the field, that also goes into the other nations. Okay, verse 4. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die, for Yahweh do know that in the day ye eat thereof, when your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. Verse 6. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. And the eyes of both were opened, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig trees together and made themselves aprons. Okay, so let's go back to Genesis, the 2nd chapter. Look at verse 16. It says, Yahweh power commanded the man, saying, Of every tree of the garden thou mayest eat freely. So he commanded the man, okay? Didn't say woman, but he was supposed to teach his wife. Verse 17, But of the tree of knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it, for in that day thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die. So that was the commandment, okay? And now, that tree of knowledge of good and evil is not talking about some apple, like they say, or some fruit that you actually eat. It was actually talking about the philosophies of these other nations that were surrounding them in the garden, that he didn't want them to touch this particular nation. Stay away from that. Don't delve into their philosophies. So, how do we prove that? Go to Ezekiel, 31st chapter, and start with the 3rd verse. And he said, Behold, the Assyrian was a cedar in Lebanon with fair branches and with a shadowing shroud and of high stature, and his top was among the thick boughs. So the Assyrian is going into Adam, or the Adamites. Okay? And he's described as a cedar with fair branches, talking about offspring, basically, and a shadowing shroud, and of high stature because he was tall, basically above the rest and among the thick boughs, okay? Boughs also go into offspring of branches. Now, when we skip down to verse 9, we'll see, I have made him fair by the multitude of his branches, so that all the trees of Eden that were in the garden envied him. So just regular trees can't envy each other. So this is parabolic. This is talking about these other nations that were in the garden with Adam. They envied him, okay? So they brought him down, basically. All right. So let's go back to Genesis. And let's get to the 3rd chapter. And let's look at a particular thing. Verse 6. So, And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, now this isn't talking about a regular tree again. This is talking about this knowledge from the other nations, their philosophies and stuff. And you'll see that food is often compared to doctrine in the scriptures. That's what it's going into. And that it was pleasant to the eyes. Okay, so it looked good to women. And so like you can see nowadays, our women, they rather follow all of these other doctrines like feminism and whatever is out there, the alphabet soup nonsense. And a tree to be desired to make one wise. So she wanted to be wise. Okay, and she took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also to her husband with her, and he did eat. Okay, so let's go and see why she wanted to be wise. So let's get a precept. Let's go Lamentations 4:3, and it says, even the sea monsters draw out the breast. They give suck unto their young ones. The daughter of my people has become cruel, like the ostriches in the wilderness. Okay, so it's parabolic, comparing women to ostriches. But let's go to Job. We needed that precept so we can understand Job. Job 39 and verse 14 says, which leaveth her eggs in the earth and warmeth them in the dust. Salakia, verse 13. Gavest thou the goodly wings unto the peacocks, or wings and feathers unto an ostrich, which leaveth her eggs in the earth, and warmeth them in the dust, and forgetteth that the foot may crush them, or that the wild beast may break them. She is hardened against her young ones, as though they were not hers. Her labor is in vain without fear. Remember, this is parabolic, talking about women. It's like a parable. Because Yahweh had deprived her of wisdom, neither had he imparted unto her understanding. So Eve didn't have that wisdom and understanding that Adam had, so she was searching for it from the other nations. Now, let's go and deal with Adam. Let's go to Genesis, the 2nd chapter, and 7th verse. And it says, Yahweh power formed the man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. So let's look into that breath of life, and he became a living soul. So this is not saying that Adam wasn't alive after he made him. It was saying that he was basically spiritually dead until he breathed that breath of life into him. So let's go see what that breath of life is. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, 7th chapter, 24th verse. For wisdom is more moving than any motion. She passeth and goeth through all things by reason of her pureness. Verse 25. For she is the breath of the power of Yahweh, and a pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty. Therefore can no undefiled thing fall unto her. Okay, so that breath of the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, is wisdom. That's what it's saying. And who got that breath? Adam got the breath. Did Eve get the breath? No, she didn't. That's why she was searching for wisdom. Okay? Now, let's go get another precept. Wisdom Solomon 9:17. And thy counsel. Whose counsel? The counsel of the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Who hath known it? Except thou give it wisdom, and send thy Holy Spirit from above. So, who will understand the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, his law, statutes, commandments, the words of this book, unless he gives the Holy Spirit from above? You can't understand it. And so, just like that, Eve was looking for understanding. So she saw the understanding of the other nations. And you can see how much our women gravitate toward these philosophies and doctrines of the other nations. I mean, even us, when we go off, when we're spiritually dead, we do the same thing. All right.